The funeral was pretty cool.
Today, that we saw today.
The biker gang funeral, like Harley Davidson's.
How many bikes were there? I couldn't even count. It was
I don't know, but I felt like in the movie where they walk up and they kick them.
Yeah.
They do, and then they run off.
They must have been in the thousands. So safe to say, like a big deal guy in the motorcycle club died, and everyone came up.
Harley. That was a Harley Davidson gang, dude. Those were all Harleys, bro.
Yeah, but wasn't it some patched? They had patched leather jackets.
Yeah, some Sons of Anarchy. That's what I'm saying.
The Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Aren't they in Cali?
I don't know. I thought
What's the Florida gang? The Florida have, or is it like Hell's Angels is everywhere? I guess
Hell's Angels is everywhere. You think those were Hell's Angels?
they had patched.
Are they still around?
Yeah, I think so. They're even in Sweden.
Anyway, it was pretty cool.
They're like untouchable.
They looked crazy, gang.
Oh yeah, I heard a podcast.
A lot
with,
of hotties running around too in leather and tops, but that's fine. That's a whole nother conversation.
I actually listened to a podcast when Hell's Angels like leader. The shit they do is crazy, and he probably didn't even go into the worst things. But they kind of, it feels like when they're operating, they're kind of above the law. Like they know all the cops, almost like in Sons of Anarchy. Like they know the cops. And
I remember there was some movie I watched years ago, and it was based on loosely on a true story about a cop that ended up going into the Hells Angels or some kind of bike gang, and he was there for years. Like it wasn't an in and out thing. Like he was there for years, and I think when they finally busted him, that was one of the few times they used the RICO Act. I think that was one of the few times, because now it's pretty common, but basically that means anyone that has anything to do with anything that you're done can be pulled in and arrested.
oh,
Like, so they were able to get like a mass of them at the same time, not just one or
Really?
two. It's called the RICO Act, yeah. But I remember that was kind of cool because they were talking to, there was a little bit of a history in the movie, so they were showing you when it took place. And it was like the 80s, but he was there for years.
imagine being that dude.
And he was like doing drugs with them, and he was like in. And he was still communicating back to...
If you're that in, don't you like become a part and like almost work against? Like they become your real friends. That's real stuff. Like it would almost suck if you got in undercover like that. It would almost suck, like turn on your friends.
Oh, you mean like someone got in as a job and then flipped?
Yeah, that must have happened.
That must have happened, but I think how hard it is to be in there that long, and you're a nervous wreck, and you always think someone's going to figure you out, right?
What happened to this guy after the RICO Act? He must have been in the hiding somewhere in fucking Thailand.
I think he did go into hiding. What was the name of the movie? It wasn't Oscar worthy. It was just kind of interesting, right? But the fact that he was there so long.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck? It's like Donnie Brasco, remember?
Yeah.
He was like in.
That's what I'm saying. Like you become friends with them when you're in like that. You become friends with them.
Well, to be convincing, you have to be, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a double life, man.
And it's real stuff. Like it's real. If you're in that long, it's real stuff.
But then you got to call back and be like, they're doing this, they're doing that.
Yeah.
They couldn't always. There was like things where they couldn't always bust them, because then they would kind of be like, okay, someone's telling them something, so they would kind of let certain things get past. So, but it was a biker Hell's Angels gang. I think I remember that.
I wouldn't. Is it every guy's dream to be in a biker gang? A little bit.
No.
Really? What's the downside? You run around on a motorcycle all day. You're doing fucking
Crooked
partying
shit all
the
day.
time. You're grilling. You're with your boys.
I don't know.
You go to strip
I
clubs.
think they're just showing you the glamorous side, like Navy SEALs. They just show you the glamorous side.
I don't know, dude. When I hear podcasts about it, it seems pretty goddamn legit. You have to look over your shoulder all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to live like that.
But that's the appeal of the criminal, right? Like every criminal life is a little bit appealing, but the stress, I don't know if that's worth it. Like every like,
It's interesting.
it's a bit appealing, to me at least. I'm like,
I almost wanted to walk through it today. That big, like, everyone was congregating around in front of the. I kind of want to just walk through and just, like, you look at people in a fish tank, like people watch. Because it looked like there was some interesting
Bro.
fuckers floating around there.
Bro,
I would have stood out like a sore
they
thumb.
would
They're
eat you
they'd
up.
have been
You come in and
they'd
you're
be
like
he's a cop.
Lululemons.
They'd be like, he's a cop. He's an undercover cop.
Bro,
they wouldn't believe it.
They would eat you up, dude.
I think
Walk
you'd be
in your Lululemons.
I think you'd be surprised, man.
I don't know, dude. That's
It's how you carry yourself, right?
Bro, I can see you getting in a lot of rooms, but that's one of the rooms.
I don't know.
Is that, and we watched Landman. We started watching Landman, and that cafe where the real workers are working. In that cafe, you wouldn't. That's not your people. That's my people. Because I'm working class. Like I'm hard hat, going to work early, drinking shitty coffee, my guy. But you're like Lululemon stylish boss guy.
Wow. And I'm fine with that. So, moving on.
Moving
on. I'm absolutely fine with that.
No,
so,
bro.
Moving on.